What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about a very common problem amongst those of you that are dealing with anxiety disorder. It's an easier said than done thing that we're going to be talking about today, but I'm telling you, once you get this part of recovery down, things are a lot more smooth, right? They are smoother. It takes a load off. It takes the weight off your shoulders. It takes the pressure off of not only you consciously, but subconsciously, and things happen a little bit more at a natural pace, right? That's what we're going for when it comes to recovery. But you know what time it is. Smash the like button down below if you're ready to kick anxiety in the butt today, all right? So again, this is a very common issue, so don't feel alone at all in this. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves, both consciously and subconsciously, by trying to force recovery. We want things to be fast. We want things to be easy. We want things to be quick. Now, there's a lot of different levels. I'm gonna try to hit on as many things as I can. Hopefully I don't forget anything. We can start with the easy fix. A lot of you by now know there's no easy fix unless you have like some hormone issue, something wrong with your thyroid, or a major vitamin deficiency, or you just have something that can be fixed, you know, dietary wise or nutrition wise or through medical treatment, right? For most of us here, 99.9% of us, I'd say, there's quite a few things that have to change in our lifestyle, and this wasn't all by accident, and usually there was a series of things that led to this point to where we're at now, and the stress was building, and then it led to the symptoms or that first panic attack. You know, my life was kind of going downhill for a while before I broke and had my first panic attack, and then, you know, that's all she wrote. And I dealt with the horrible heart anxiety, the panic, all the symptoms, the insomnia, and I had to climb myself out of that. And overall, it took me 5 years. But of course, the first half of that or 3/4 of that, I wasn't doing the things that I talked to you guys about in these videos, really. So I had to learn the hard way, and I had to put in a lot of time to get out of it. But anyways, there's no quick fix, right? So a lot of you have this quick fix mentality, and it's not even just about the whole thing. It can be about individual tools, right? Oh man, I heard about the power of meditation. And then you find out, you know, 2 days into it that you're struggling to sit still because your symptoms are loud, right? And you're feeling everything in your body. So it's hard for you to sit still and to get the most out of meditation. Or I heard vitamin D is good, and you start taking vitamin D and you still feel, you know, like crap, right? For the next few days. And like you dismiss that as a possible thing to help you or add to your toolkit. Exercise, diet, any of those things, right? Exposure especially. A lot of you think that you're not ready for exposure because every time you try to expose yourself to something, you have symptoms. That's how it works. You need the symptoms to actually come out during your exposure to rewire, to respond differently, to use the skills, the tools, the response system that you've been working on before you started your exposure. You're never going to be fully 100% ready for exposure, but a lot of you guys are thinking that you're doing something wrong, or like, no, I got to get a lot better before I get back in that car, before I go back to work, and all of that, right? So you're very quick to dismiss tools and their efficiency and everything because you're expecting massive results within a few days. Something else I want to touch on is a lot of you have like a deadline, like I got to be like 75% better or 90% better or fully recovered by, you know, this date. And it could be because you have to go back to work. Either you quit and you know finances are getting tight, you have to go back to work, or you took a leave, like maybe you're fortunate enough to have a couple months that you could take off and work on yourself and your anxiety, but there's that big date circled on the calendars. For some of you, this is a vacation or a business meeting or just a trip in general. Some of you are gonna get married, or some of you are bringing a new baby into this world, and you gotta be 100% by the time that child gets here, right? But what you're doing is you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself consciously and subconsciously. And I've been saying this for a long time on this channel now, for quite a few months, if not closer to a year. I just like the way it sounds. We have to start thinking in terms of months versus days or weeks. And something that I've been talking about even more recently is I want you to start thinking of like 0.5% per day, even when you're doing all the right stuff. Now, for a lot of you, you're going to move faster than that. If we say 0.5% a day, I think that could equate to around 6 months of you doing everything right, and you should be in a really good place after that. I mean, if you're taking your diet, your nutrition, your exercise, your exposure, your routine, morning and evening routine, your mindfulness, all the things that go into recovery and the lifestyle changes that you need to make that led you to this, right? Detoxifying your environment, whether it be the people you hang out with, the things that you put in your body, things that led to this in the first place, taking your therapy seriously or dealing with trauma seriously. And guys, if you think about 0.5%, a lot of you will be better there, but that's with everything in place. So you have to also realize that that's with everything working in place. And for some of you, you don't want to hear that, right? It's 6 months, man, but some of you that are saying that or thinking that right now have been dealing with this for 5, 10, 15 years. What's 6 months, right? Of doing all the right stuff. And think about it like this. It's not like you're going to be where you are at right now for 6 months and then you get better. You're going to gradually get better. In 3 months, if you're at your rock bottom right now, think about yourself being 50% better. Half of what you're dealing with now lifted. That doesn't sound bad, right? And then 4 months into it, where are we at? 75%, right? Or around there? 75% of this being gone? Hell yeah. You're at least able to sleep. You're at least able to function. You've made some awesome changes in your life. You're starting to lose weight. You're getting more active. And you got some residual symptoms that are going to gradually fade. And guys, I will say, that last 10 to 20% seems to be stubborn for most of the people that I've talked to. For a lot of you that comment, and definitely in my journey, that last 10 to 20% lasted quite some time. So you have to be really patient with that. And we get frustrated and annoyed at those last couple symptoms. And ironically, it'll keep us there. I like to try to view it as like, it's our subconscious kind of holding on to our shirt like we would hold on to our 18-year-old son and that's about to leave and go to college. It's like, I love you. I know you've made a lot of changes. You've grown up. You're a man now and everything like that. But I don't know, man. You still make some weird choices. And I just don't want you to leave the house. You could stay here and do online and community college or work or whatever I'm trying to keep you here. And I think that's kind of what the subconscious is doing here. It's trying to just still protect you from danger. So it holds on to those last few things. But that's to be expected. That's to be normal. So basically what I'm saying in a broad spectrum, there's all these different components that go into this. Don't put a timetable on recovery, whether it be how fast and effective a singular tool should last to your overall recovery process. That puts a lot of pressure on yourselves. Instead of doing that, just say that and you have to have 100% belief that you're going to get there for it to be possible. If you're like, I don't know, I don't think I can get there, or I don't know, and you're just going through the motions or you're doing these tools, they're probably not going to be as effective for you, and you're probably not going to reach the ultimate goal of recovery. You have to believe 100% that you're going to be able to do this for you to be actually able to do it. You have to have faith. So start practicing faith every day. Have it in your affirmations, have it in a speech, create a video, of yourself, kind of talking to yourself that you can listen to every morning. Start relying on you also more so than other people to always motivate you and just spending your whole morning watching motivational videos. Watch a few of those, you know what I mean? Even when it comes to my channel, watch a handful of videos or whatever, especially if you're new here. But for those of you that are just coming back and rewatching nonstop, watch a few of them to start your day if it comes down to my videos. But I don't want you just stuck in front of your phone or your computer all day either. You know what I mean? We don't want to make our whole life and day or our whole day about anxiety and everything. We want to take action. We need to take the tips and things that we learn, like in this video, of like not putting a timetable or parameters or boundaries on your recovery, or expecting tools to just be super effective within a day. And sometimes we'll have breakthroughs and there'll be some certain tools that are more effective than others. But for most of us, if we're in a really dark place and we have really bad symptoms and we've responded the wrong way for a very long time, it's going to take time even for like really effective tools to make huge differences. Again, some of you are going to have breakthroughs. For me, once I started doing aggressive exercise, that helped me pretty quickly. Took me 2 years to get to that point, but hey, there was a barrier I had to break through. Really ice cold showers was something else that worked fairly quickly. But other things like, mindfulness and meditation, or things like journaling or reading through my affirmations, it took a while for me to really believe what I was doing, right? Or believe what I was reading. And if it's hard for me to believe on a conscious level, then my subconscious really isn't buying. So I have to get there consciously first, which is going to take time. And then the subconscious is going to come in. So start thinking 0.5% a day. Because look, I mean, all we're talking about is averages, right? I'm just talking about like an average of like 0.5%. You could have a day where you grow by 3%, then you can have a day that's really bad. And it's like you take away 3%, right? The graph isn't going to look like that. Or I think I need to do it. I don't know which way. I think it's kind of backwards on here. Whatever, regardless, the graph isn't going to be perfect, right? You're not going to grow the same amount every day. We're looking for an average. It's going to look like this. Sometimes you're going to have plateaus and you got to make a change to either go up, right? Or you're going to have some setbacks, and that's okay. Setbacks are okay. It's a part of the process. But stop trying to fix yourself 100% in the next couple months because you have to go back to work or you have a trip or something coming up. You're going to just freak yourself out every day. You're going to see that number circle and you're like, oh my God, I don't know. You got to have faith that you're eventually going to get out of this. This process has to be natural. You're forcing it whenever you're trying to be done by a certain point, and your subconscious, you're not going to fool it. It's just like, oh, you're just trying to get me better so you can go do that, right? You're not really trying to fully change and transform and change your life. You're just trying to get me to shut up with these symptoms so you can go enjoy your time there or go back to work and everything. It doesn't work like that. It's got to be natural. It can't be forced. You got to take the weight, the pressure off, the load off. And I'm telling you guys, once you take that pressure off and be like, I don't have to be fully better, by the time our baby is born, or by the time I have to go back to work, or I don't have to be fully better in 3 months or something like that, or whatever the timetable you have. I just want to be better. And I have confidence by the time I go back to work or whatever, I'll be able to handle it better, right? I'm in a dark place now, or some of you are a lot better than where you were, whenever you left work. Right? You had a horrible panic attack. You weren't getting any sleep. And some of you have gradually dug yourself out of that hole, but you're still kind of in the middle with anxiety. You're already better than where you were. You've shown yourself that you're capable of getting out of it. I'm going to be more capable in a few months. As long as you stay consistent and you have that routine and everything in place and you're attacking your exposure, you're gradually going to get there. I promise, right? You just got to be consistent. You got to keep trying. But hopefully, guys, you like this video. Again, hit the like button if you got some value out of it. If you want more help with your anxiety recovery, there's tons of resources in the description, including my course, Elite Anxiety Bootcamp, very extensive. Close to 100 videos on there that's going to walk you step by step through the process on how I got out of panic disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, and the big bad boy of them all, health anxiety. That course is changing lives. It's helping a lot of people. I want you to be a part of that. Check that out. I'm going to put the link to that down in the description and the first pinned comment. Resources as far as therapy goes is also going to be down there. There's Facebook groups that you can join. And guys, I love you all. Keep fighting.